watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello and welcome to GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk. I'm Calvin Nicholson. Let's talk about you. What's going on in your life, whether you're at home or at school. Today we're going to talk about something every student has an opinion on, the dress code. Some schools keep it super strict with uniforms, while others let you rock your own fit. But here's the thing, does dress code actually help us focus and keep things fair, or does it just kill our vibe and shut down self-expression? We're going to take a break and get different points of view about things, whether it's comfort, confidence, or just trying to stay out of trouble. Joining me today is our very own principal, Dr. Jonathan Stencel. Along with him, I'll have Mr. Bush from Southwind High School. Thank you guys for joining me today.
Thanks, Calvin.
Thank you for having me.
You guys are the best of friends with two different opinions. So I wanted to have you both on here to kind of give me your take on it. Dr. Stencel, you being more laid back about dress code. Mr. Bush, you're not playing it at all without it. So I want to get you both take on it. Dr. Stencel, if you started, so can you give us your overview? Because people at Germantown believe that you're strict on dress code, but believe it or not, once they hear what Southwind has to say about it, they'll start to see how lenient you are.
That's true. Well, first, I think it's important to understand the difference between dress code and uniforms. There's a big difference. Dress code, to me, you're right. I'm very generalized about it. I just don't want any distractions. I don't mind if the students rock their own fit. We're pretty old school in the sense we kind of live by the 3 B's. No bellies, no chest area, and no behinds. So we don't want to see any of that. And so as long as the kids can keep those areas covered up, not have any trashy or offensive logos on their shirts or their hats. Well, we don't do hats anyway, or jeans. I'm fine. And that's just the way that I prefer to go.
Mr. Bush?
So, as the years have gone on, I've kind of taken a step back somewhat. However, I'm old school in my approach to things. I just believe that the students should still come and have a certain look. We don't wear uniforms, and I do give my students some leeway, but I'm real strict on rips and tears. We don't do slides. I will do Crocs. That was a switch for me. And I believe that with students, if you let them know what the rules are early on, they'll follow the rules. Every now and then you're going to have somebody that's going to push the envelope. My job or my team's job is to make sure that we reset that and we fix that standard. A couple years ago, when I first got to Southwind, there was a major incident that happened. I went viral for it over some slides. Well, that was within policy. And so when I talked to a young man about it, he had some choice words for me, and things kind of went left, but we were able to work it out. And so that's when the uniform question started coming around about me and uniforms. And it's just that I just believe that there's a certain standard that I believe that a minimum standard that we should have, that the students should come with. And so for the most part, my students know that and they understand that, and I make it real clear. I provide them with a very high overview of what my expectation is. The key part is me enforcing it. And so we do a pretty good job of enforcing it, because when students arrive every day at Southwind, they see my smiling face and I'm looking. And so they pretty much know that. So that's how it works out for us.
So I want to ask you guys this. Dr. Stencel, you made it clear there's a difference between dress code and uniforms. And sometimes that as students will kind of mistake the two, and you both having two perspectives on it. Mr. Bush, you talk about how you don't do slides. Can you tell me some of the things that may differ? Because at Germantown they're able to wear slides. They're able to have their rips and tears as long as it's not showing any of the 3 B's. Can you tell us what made you take that approach?
Well, I'll just be honest with you. Again, I was born in 1970, so I have a different perspective. I have a younger administrator, so we kind of married the two. But if a student comes to school with slides on, in my mind, they're not coming prepared to really do any work. They're coming to be relaxed in a relaxed atmosphere. School is not that. It's a place where you learn. Yes, it's great about you should have the high school experience, but I just don't think that that's a place for it. And then it's also within policy. So what I've always tried to do at the beginning of the school year is go over policy, go over the district dress code policy, and we illustrate it with pictures. Every now and then, some of my athletes like to come in with Jordan and Nike slides. And, I make sure that They don't make it past me with those Jordan and Nike slides on. It's just a preference thing. The Crocs I had to get used to. Came from Douglas High School and Wooddale High School, and kids really didn't wear Crocs over there. So when I got to Southwind, that's all I saw. Had to kind of buy into that because at first I was struggling with that, but I'm okay with the Crocs now and the bubbles. I'll do the bubble slides, but I won't do like the Nike and
the open toe slides.
Yeah, I won't do
Okay,
those.
okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Stencel, you've been at Germantown. This is your second go round.
Correct.
So can you tell me what is your perspective? You being at Cordova, you dealt with dress code. You dealt with uniforms actually.
Sure did.
Can you tell me the disadvantage that you say from uniforms to dress code and how it's actually still lenient?
Yeah, so one of the main things, and from a security point of view, we found back in the day when I was at Cordova and everybody dressed identical every single day, if we ever got in a situation where we had to go and run back the cameras and trying to identify somebody, it was really made it very difficult to identify any one child because at any given time they were wearing a white polo shirt, khaki pants, white tennis shoes, and everybody looked the same. So from a safety point of view, I have found it much easier to identify people that we are trying to track down when everybody is really just kind of dressing in their own style, and I can identify the kid in the jeans and the fluorescent green shoes and an orange t-shirt. So, just from that perspective, I have found it to be to lend to the security of the school.
Some students may feel this way, and I want to get your both take on this. Some students may feel that the dress code stipulations can stop them from expressing their self or stop them from their own style of things. What's your take on that? Because I understand, I'm hearing your point. It sounds like you want your students to go out and be prepared for the real world. You can't wear slides on the job. Right. If you walk in with a pair of slides on, they're going to look at you funny. Right. So I want to hear your take on this.
So when we think about students waking up every day and then coming to school, so yeah, I agree that young people should be able to express themselves after 2:15. So from 7:15 to 2:15, we have a clear policy that we've already went over with you. I do all my own grade level meetings at the beginning of the school year. They hear my voice. It's my presentation. I prepare it every year. So we're real clear on what our expectations are. You can express yourself at 2:16. You can express yourself all you want to, but from 7:15 to 2:15, there's a certain expectation that students at Southwind High School in terms of dress that they have to have. Now, I've gotten lenient on some things because I do realize that times have changed. So when I first got to Southwind, I didn't even do rips and tears. I'll do them now, but I won't do, I call it thigh meat. I won't do those rips up there, up close to the thigh area. Won't do those because in my mind, there's no place for school. It's a distraction for young men. If young women are wearing them, young ladies are wearing them, young men are going to be distracted. They're going to say something to them. Probably the wrong thing to them, and then that's a whole nother matter. So I try to eliminate that by setting a dress code and reinforcing it. And we do it every day. Kids, every now and then you have somebody to try. But my thing is, I love students being able to express themselves, but just do it at 2:16.
Dr. Stencel?
Yeah, and Mr. Bush and I are born the same year, so we've seen the evolution of all this come about. It used to be when we were in school, we would dress pretty well to school, and then college is when you would dress down.
Right.
And times have really changed. But Mr. Bush made a great point talking about distractions. So even back 15 years ago, my first go around here, we did not allow any different color hair or any nose rings or any different piercings because at the time those were distracting because you just didn't see them all the time. But here you are now. It is not uncommon to see different color hair. Nose piercings are almost the norm. So those things are no longer a distraction to anybody in the school building. So like I said, we've been around a minute. And we've seen the evolution of this, and then I see this with my own children. My kids go to a school down the street, and most of the females at that school, they wear leggings with a sweatshirt that covers their behind, and they wear on-cloud shoes or Crocs. That's kind of almost like a school uniform down the street. So, yeah, we've seen everything, and it's very interesting to see all the changes.
Thank you, Dr. Stencel. Thank you, Mr. Bush, for joining me today. It was
welcome, Calvin.
Thank you for having me.
Truly a pleasure talking to you guys. All right, we're gonna be right back with our student group chat.
You're watching the award-winning GHS-TV, a nationally recognized student television station.
Hello, and welcome to another season of Red Devil Postgame.
So GHS-TV tries to model a real working station.
I really thought it was cool when I first started studio and all the opportunities that it was able to provide for me.
That would be 36 out of 36.
It's a rigorous class that demands a lot from students.
At times you are going to be thrown into the fire to where you're just going to have to figure it out yourself.
Which is really great because then we gain more knowledge. Our teachers will give us how to start, but then we're left to make up the whole entire process.
It just seems to me it's not enough space in the beginning. If it's not, let's figure out what we can do.
They can be a producer, they can be a director, they can work graphics and learn audio. They can go out and shoot field reports.
Akila, back to you.
And it's a challenge to throw them into the environment and say, here's a camera, go out and record this interview and some B-roll. But those are the challenges that grow students to do bigger projects.
Welcome to Red Devil Newsbeat.
In GHS-TV, we have a variety of shows. We have Crosstalk.
Hello, and welcome to GHS-TV's award-winning talk show, Crosstalk.
We have Insider, which is all about Germantown.
Hello and welcome to GHS Insider, the show that's all about the G.
Some things that I've learned from this class is that how to work as a team.
We learn how to communicate better with people.
Something I'll take with me from in the future is their slogan, check, double check, and check again.
There's so many different things you can do here. I would say take risks. Push yourself further than you think you can go, and we will help guide you there.
Go Red Devils!
For more information about the Kappa program, visit ghskappa.com or call 755-7775.
Welcome back to Crosstalk. This week we're discussing the dress code. We've talked to two principals and got their view on the dress code. Now let's get into our group chat. Because let's be honest, we're the ones actually living through the dress code every single day. We've got Kendall Cotton and Jamar Hill. Thank you for being on the group chat.
Thank you.
I want to talk to you guys simply about this. What are your guys' take on the dress code? Kendall, can you give me your oversight?
My take on the dress code is that I think it's a necessary evil. We need it, but there are things we can definitely improve on. And I think specifically we need to improve on the faculty, how they enforce it and how they treat us in regards to dress code.
Jamar?
I feel the dress code is good as it is, but it also could be modified because it is unfair to certain people and to certain cultures and races based off how it's enforced.
So you guys both gave it to me how you may not, you're not against the dress code, but you feel that there could be some tweaks and turns to make it fit better. So Kendall, can you actually go into detail, elaborate on what those things truly are?
I think the reception that students receive towards dress code should be altered. I think sometimes faculty can be a little more harsh on our young black girls here and a little more lenient to their peers. And I think the way they speak to, the students sometimes is unprofessional and kind of unneeded. I feel like the tone and the way they respect our students should be changed.
Okay. Jamar?
I feel that the faculty, they could be less harsh on the black women here, but they could treat each student fairly. Because us boys, we just get a slap on our wrist and go on, versus black girls, they get more of a harsher treatment when it comes to dress code.
So I want to shift for just a moment. Could you say that you're grateful to the point of that we're not in uniforms?
Absolutely. I'm definitely grateful. I recognize that I have a lot in my appearance that traditionally probably wouldn't be allowed. I have a dermal piercing and I have dyed hair. And so I could understand that wouldn't normally be allowed, and I'm thankful that Dr. Stencel allows that part of self-expression. I'm very thankful for that, and I'm thankful that we're not in uniforms.
I'm thankful that we can wear what we want, because I feel like uniforms would restrict how us students can express ourselves. Personally, I wear what I want to wear because it helps me express how I feel mostly that day.
So you talk about you wear what you want to wear, but I want to look at all three of us. I'm in a suit. You're in a nice dress. You're in a button-down shirt. Why are we dressed like this? Is this how you want to be dressed?
No.
Is this how you want to be dressed?
I don't mind.
You don't mind. I'm gonna be honest with you, I had a polo shirt. I don't like this. So my question is, what warrants this conversation? Why do we have to dress a certain way to be on Crosstalk, on a TV show, on a talk show? It's about the occasion, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We can all three agree it's about the occasion. So what's the difference between the occasion of your education?
Honestly, I think school is serious, but I think we live in it so much that we need to be able to create a comfortable environment. I think having to put on such professional clothing, it's gonna distract us, it's gonna harbor resentment, it's gonna take away from the focus, which is learning. Clothes shouldn't be indicative of how well we learn or how well we do academically.
I feel like we could wear what we want to wear here, but also I feel like the uniforms, it would restrict us. It would make some kids feel distracted. Also, when it comes to identifying people, it would be very hard to do that. Everybody wants the same thing.
But I must rebuttal and ask you guys. You said that it's a distraction. Do you not believe that when, like Dr. Stencel and Mr. Bush said earlier in our show, they talk about how that sometimes what young women have on versus what young men have on can be distracting to the different genders of the sort. So I must ask you, how can, in this instance, us being dressed up, do you believe that it's really just them trying to push you and prepare you into the real world? Because if you want to go into your corporate jobs and things of that nature, you can't dress a certain way. You have to. There's a standard of dress and a standard of excellence to a point of it.
I think that the standard is different for everyone. I don't think everyone plans in their future that they want to go corporate, they want to dress formal. And I think that the idea behind formal is very objective. What is professional to me might not be professional to you, and that makes it kind of hard to enforce something that is so objective and not uniform. It's not universal.
I feel as students, it could be preparing us for the real world, but not everyone feels like they're going to go to college or go the corporate route. Some may want to start a business or become an entrepreneur or influencer.
I want to ask you, what do you want to do?
I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay, so I have a question. You want to be a lawyer?
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that your clients would receive you if you're dressed like you are today or like I am today versus if you have on sweatpants and a t-shirt?
I honestly don't think they would receive me very well if I wasn't dressed professionally. But I think when I go into that career, I have to accept that. I have to accept that this is what I want to do and this is the type of idea I want to portray. And so I kind of have to take that and reckon with it.
And then I want to ask this, because some people feel that the dress code is misogynistic. I want to hear your take on it.
I don't think, well, I believe dress code is misogynistic, but I think it's mainly not just in the code itself, but how we have our faculty address it. I think sometimes our faculty will turn a blind eye to the males here and their issues. And when it comes to the girls here, it's definitely more harped on, definitely more reiterated.
Jamar?
I feel like the dress code could be misogynistic, but also faculty could enforce it better and treat everyone equally. Because I feel like they do not treat everyone equally for how they dress. Like, some boys, they'll be sagging and then they'll be like, pull your pants up and walk on. But when it comes to girls, they'll get them a full life lecture about it.
So I must ask, and like we discussed, do you believe that you can really compare the two? Because if you think about it, the way boys may dress versus the way girls may dress, there's two different perspectives of things. There's two different genders, two different walks of life, two different everythings. So could you hone into me what makes you truly feel this way? Of course, their approach on things most definitely could be different. Some approaches could be different for boys as well. But can you hone in why you truly feel that it's the approach like that for young ladies is different? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, to me, I feel like it's equal because of course a boy isn't gonna wear a dress. He may wear a ski mask and his pants may be saggy, but I feel like I can't compare there.
I think that dress code stems from a lot of sexualization of girls, and you won't really see that with men. They don't harp on their body parts as much as they harp on girls. And so that's why I think it's slightly unfair. Like, they are focusing on the sexualization of girls, and they kind of neglect that with men. And both should be protected, both should be respected, and both should be regarded with respect.
Jamar?
I feel as, yeah, they do treat boys and girls different here, but you can't compare them. But what you can treat them equally. Like, say if the girls are getting yelled at how they are for how they dress, the boys should be getting yelled at the exact same way.
I agree. Thank you both for joining me today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Calvin.
And that's a wrap on today's episode, on today's conversation about dress code. Whether you're in uniforms or free dress, remember, it's all about confidence. For more information on our programming, you can go to check us out on the web at GHS-TV.org, where we're streaming live 24 hours a day. You can also check us out on Facebook and Instagram. I'm Calvin Nicholson, and from all of us here at GHS-TV, thank you for watching Crosstalk, and I hope to see you again.